Hey. What you doing here? Don't you have practice?
Not anymore, I quit.
Oh. Well, since when are you the quitting kind?
It's gonna be hard, it's gonna hurt, but I gotta keep going. I cannot stop. I'm going to die or be successful. That's my mindset. I'm going to die or be successful. I feel like if I stopped trying to be successful, I would have already died.
The mind's a medieval mother. It's constantly fighting against you. It's the only thing in the history of the fucking world that shows up on time, every time.
I don't know, I just don't see the point anymore.
So you didn't make the dress list. There are greater tragedies in the world.
I wanted to run out of that tunnel for my dad. To prove to everyone that I worked.
What?
That I was somebody.
Oh, you are so full of...
It has the tactical advantage over you. It knows your fears. It knows your insecurities. It knows everything about you. It may be the only thing in that world that knows all about you. You gotta know about it. It's gonna show up when you don't want to show up. It's gonna show up at the worst time possible when you want to be successful. It's gonna say, take the easy road. Take the easy way out. You gotta learn your brain like your brain has learned you.
You're 5 feet nothing, 100 and nothing, and you got hardly a speck of athletic ability. And you hung in with the best college football team in the land for 2 years. And you're also gonna walk out of here with a degree from the University of Notre Dame. In this lifetime, you don't have to prove nothing to nobody except yourself.
It's 44 degrees and it's nice and rainy outside. But no one cares about that. It's not about the rain. It's what the rain represents. Life is always giving you a test. Trying to give you a way out. Trying to give you an excuse not to show up. This is my excuse today. But guess what? You gotta have the mentality to show up every day of your life. No matter what life throws at you. It's our responsibility to show up to the Coliseum of life. Prepare for battle. I don't care what you're going through, what life's throwing at you. It's your responsibility to find your new 100%.
And after what you've gone through, if you haven't done that by now, it ain't gonna never happen.
I'm sorry I never got you to see your first game in here.
Hell, I've seen too many games in this stadium.
I thought you said you never saw a game.
I've never seen a game from the stands.
You were a player?
I rode the bench for 2 years. Thought I wasn't being played because of my color. I got filled up with a lot of attitude. So I quit. Still not a week goes by, I don't regret it. And I guarantee a week won't go by in your life you won't regret walking out, letting them get the best of you.
This is all about the quitting mind. So what's the quitting mind? So, let's say it's day one of a job interview. We all know what that feels like. You have your clothes laid out. You got your food ready to go in the morning. You've been preparing for weeks and weeks and weeks. You show up and you bring your best self. You get the job. Merry Christmas. All right. After a couple months, you start showing up to work a little later. You don't look as good. Your clothes aren't laid out. Your breakfast isn't ready. Your mind's getting softer. We do that with everything in life. Don't have a pretty mind. Repetition every day.
Now go on back.
Hey, bro. You better get ready to buckle up, because this don't get no easier, bro. What, you think the grind gets easier? Come on, bro. You silly, man. This grind's only for the strong ones, bro. And if you weak, I suggest you go ahead and leave. It's tough, but it's true.
For this young man, he's working with his counselor, trying to find his why. So he emails me. He wants my opinion. Well, here it is. Trying to find your why is another way of procrastinating, taking action. So, the question does not end with why. It starts with why. Why the don't you want to be in better shape? Why the don't you want to be a better student? Why don't you want to be more successful? Maybe you can't find your why because you're lazy. Maybe you can't find your why because you have zero ambition. Regardless, you need to go out here and find it.
There are no solutions, only trade-offs. What's that mean to you?
That you're never going to completely solve anything in your life or in the world, and there's always going to be compromises that you have to make. And if you aren't willing to make those compromises, or you don't keep your mind open for those compromises, you're going to run into some real problems. But if you look at it and the fact that you might put a little more effort over here and it's going to take away from some effort over there, you can't just do everything at once. So yeah, no solutions, only trade-offs.
I got about 5 o'clock. I woke up and saw you chilling out. Saw the dog all hung over from trees. I thought to myself, that dog is lucky we feed it. About myself, I got to feed myself. And every foot strike that hits the pavement, that's how I feed myself. Motherfuckers look for inspiration. Inspiration is found in every footstep you take, every grasp of that iron bar, all the miles in the pool. Inspiration is found in suffering. So right now, this is my greatest recovery. As I recover, I find inspiration.
How do you deal with the tension of feeling that other thing pull away from you, right? You know that you need to focus, and you know that by focusing on one thing, another thing is going to start to drop away. But the classic overachiever mindset is, well, everything needs to be growing at all times. So there's an emotional pain of watching something stagnate or watching something fall behind. How do you try and navigate that?
You just have to figure out what the priority is. And at certain times, certain things might be a higher priority right now than it is at some other point, and something else picks up. And sometimes the family needs to be the priority, sometimes the business, sometimes the other business, sometimes the health. Like, you're just going to have to weigh those things out and recognize that you can't do them all simultaneously at the same time all the time. It's not going to work. So you got to figure out where you're going to make some compromises, where you're going to make some trade-offs.
So I got an email the other day from a hockey player. He's like, hey, Goggins, I tore my Achilles. He was all upset. He said, what do you do for setbacks? I said, those setbacks are nothing but character builders. He was all upset, man. I said, don't be upset about that. It's done. Your Achilles is torn. Nothing you can do about it. But there's one thing you can do, though. If it goes wrong, apply pressure to it. Ask the gods of the world, is this all you have? Can you give me some more? Put some hate on that motherfucker. Put some grind on it. Keep on moving.
Yeah, the sentence, you can be anything you want, but you can't be everything you want, is so good for that. And especially if you like novelty, like doing lots of different things. Oh, this is interesting to me. I'm curious. I want to... You go, yeah, okay, dude, but there is a limit, right? And when you start to... It's the most obvious thing in the world. If you spread yourself too thinly across lots of different things, you can't be that great at all of them. You can't be really that great at any of them after you start to spin it up after a while.
Yeah. And it's one of those laws of combat that I teach and used to teach in SEAL teams, and now I teach to businesses: prioritize and execute. Like, you've got to figure out what the priorities are and then execute on those things. But you got to figure out what the biggest priority is at any given time.
So 2 guys asked me to help them train for a marathon. Oh, but they picked a day to train. It's 40 degrees, raining, windy, nasty. Those cats are inside the treadmill. You can't let conditions dictate your outcome. They believe that if it rains or snows, or it's too windy, they may cancel the marathon. They ain't canceling. You better train with whatever conditions they give you. The person that usually feels me, she's taking a day off the car right now because it's too nasty. Don't do the same.
Like I said, whether it's this business or your family or your health, at certain times you got to say, all right, I got to pay attention to my family right now. I can feel things are getting a little bit sketchy over there. Or all right, my family seems solid right now. I got to focus on this part of the business. And then within the business, this particular section of the business, so you go right on down the line.
How do you think about moving between planning and execution in that way? Is it something that you can do at the same time, or is it really important to sort of step back, give yourself that perspective, and then go back in to actually enact the strategies?
If you end up executing things yourself, you can only do so much at one time, right? I mean, if you've got something going on with your family, well, hopefully your spouse is going to be able to take some action on that, whatever that thing is.
Never forget to train your f***ing mind. In life, a lot of us work our f***ing ass off trying to get to a better place, a place that makes us feel better about ourselves. Some people want to do ultra races. They're starting to PR during training. Some people want to be a lawyer or a medical student. So they're taking these practice tests and they're crushing the practice tests. But guess what happens? Once you get to the actual event, your mind isn't ready. Your mind's not prepared. You've been studying, you've been training, you've been working out, but your mind's not prepared. Story for you. When I was 19 years old, I was going through the Air Force trying to be a pararescueman. I was doing push-ups, sit-ups, swimming. I was doing all the knocking out of the park. One of the best in the class. But the second the obstacle got in my way, I wasn't prepared for it mentally. I was a beast. All I was doing was I was training a bigger, stronger, faster quitter. You gotta train your mind for all obstacles that might get in your way.
And then you've got businesses, well, you've got departments inside your business, and you assign some plan to someone inside the business that's going to step up and take charge of that thing and run with it. So that's the fourth law of combat leadership, which is decentralized command, meaning you can't do everything yourself. You need to allow your subordinate leaders to step up and lead and make things happen. So it's mandatory to do that if you're gonna execute on more than one thing in life.
Mm-hmm. What about when it comes to working out what your priority should be for yourself? It seems like even that, not being able to see the wood for the trees. I'm currently in the midst of this thing, but I need to actually, is this the best place for my attention to be spent right now?
Yeah, I think, first of all, you got to be able to detach a little bit and take a step back and take a look at what's going on in the world and take a look at what's going on in your world to go, oh, you know what?
With success in life comes more haters. Don't make them hurt your feelings. Use them for fuel. Use them for energy. In times of need, put them on the mental Rolodex in your mind. And when you don't want to do roll through your brain. Pull up that that you need. That person who said you couldn't do something. Weren't fast enough, good enough, smart enough, what it may be. Use it for energy. Instead of killing them with kindness, torture them with success. In life, we have to continue pushing past the odds. Use everything this world has to give you for fuel.
It seems like this might not be the best thing, because that's, I think, what happens is if you don't take a step back and you don't detach, then you're not going to recognize what's happening, what's going on. And that's how someone can work until they have no family left, or pay so much attention to their family that they lose their job, go in the wrong direction.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to be able to take a step back and actually assess what's going on, and you can't get drawn down into the weeds of any particular thing for too long, right? Like, you can do it for a little while. You can do it depending on the thing. You can do it for a day or a week or a month sometimes. But then after that, you got to say, all right, I got to take a step back and have a
Well, the
look
same
around.
thing goes for health, right? If you're going to launch a new business, probably not going to be in the best condition you've ever been in. So I'm just going to take over. Maybe I'll get a push-pull leg session in across the week or something like that. You go, okay, well, if I really want to find my future husband or wife, well, that I imagine that my sleep's going to suffer.
I get a lot of questions. People asking me for help. So I asked them, what have you done to help yourself? Most of them say, I've been working hard. I'm all about being your own hero, but I'm not about kissing your. In life, a lot of us believe that we're working much harder than we actually are. We think if we got up early for 4 days, we've earned something. You gotta drop your entitled mindset. It's dead weight. We believe we work harder than we actually have. Trust me, most of us haven't.
I'm going to have to go out more. I'm going to have to be more social. Maybe I'm going to have to go to restaurants and pretend to eat like a normal person. It is lesson that I think you can only learn with experience. It's very difficult to tell somebody you need to do this. It's really something that you learn through pain. You go, I let my foot off the gas with this one particular thing.
Yeah.
Look at what happened. Didn't go well. I'd better not do that again. I'd better not let my health get to the stage where I haven't slept properly for 3 weeks at a time. And that was when I got sick.
Yeah. And I think that actually health is one that you don't want to totally walk away from health at any time. And I think that's one of the reasons that I feel like I'm doing pretty good right now.
I just do me. I'm out there running, working out, and just trying to find out more of what this is all about, trying to find out more what I'm all about. So that takes me getting away. I'm not about even doing these podcasts, man. So nothing against you, but I'm not about all this stuff. I'm not one that likes to hear himself talk a lot. I'm about action, and action means less talking and more doing. So that's where I've been.
I probably haven't taken more than 2 or 3 days off from working out in decades. You know what I mean? So yeah, okay, I had a surgery on my neck. So okay, I took some time after that. But even after that, like after 3 days, I was in my garage gym walking around in circles,
That doesn't surprise
just
me.
trying to make something happen. But I think when people completely abandon their health for a month or 2 months, I think that's where injuries start coming into play, and you really go backwards.
It's foundational, right?
Yeah.
The other stuff that you're trying to do is build on top of that.
Yeah.
Well, when I left the military, I'm always looking for more. I'm always looking for what's the next thing for myself. How can I grow? And that right there was the next thing for me. I didn't want to sit back and, just enjoy my retirement from the military. There's no growth in that. So I decided to go out and do this. So
You jump out of an aeroplane with a team. You get your kit also parachuted out of the back. You're now in the middle of an area where there's no evac, there's no vehicles that can come and get you. There's a fire. You need to put the fire out, and you don't stop until you're done.
that's it. Sometimes there is a way to get out, but a lot of times it's just, if someone gets hurt on the jump, a lot of times we have to build, like cut down a bunch of trees so a helicopter can come in, land, and get them out.
Yeah. I guess actually using you as an example for sleep might not be a particularly good idea there. What's your advice for how people can be more confident in their decisions in life? Like, where does confidence come from, in your opinion?
I think confidence comes from, clearly some of it comes from experience, but I think one of the most profound things that you can do to become more confident is to become okay with saying, yeah, I'm not exactly sure what to do right now. And if you can say that, all of a sudden, the world becomes just a lot easier.
So we are the only access. We have to save ourselves. So a lot of times we are the team to get us in and to get us out.
What was the longest mission exercise that you did?
I think the longest one I did was 7 days. So
And what's the sort of daily routine? Are you sleeping? Do you get much sleep at all?
no, not really. So what happens is, and the thing about being in Canada, so I do this out of British Columbia. So what happens is there's a lot of daylight. When I'm out there, man, there's a lot of daylight.
In the middle of the summer when it's
That's
hottest,
right.
when you've got tons of, right, okay.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
So
yeah.
there's not much dark. So you're basically working a lot of hours. So, and then when it gets dark, you're actually working through the nighttime. And then you get a little rest, and you wake up and you're at it again. And then when the fire's out, you patrol the fire, make sure there's no more hot spots, make sure everything is black and wet.
And if we're in a meeting and we've got some a project that we're going to get started on, and it's something I've never done before, and I'm the boss, and I say, hey, Chris, I'm not really sure what to do right now. Well, that's okay. And you go, well, actually, at my old company, we did the same thing, so let's make this move. And I go, okay, that sounds like a good place to start anyways. And so now we get started. Whereas if I come in and I'm like, I don't want Chris to know that I don't know how to do this, or I'm not sure of myself right now, or I'm lacking confidence, so I'm going to pretend to be confident. I think that's problematic. So I think, look, no one knows everything. No one makes all perfect decisions. No one understands every element of the world. So I think a good way to gain confidence quickly is to admit the fact that you don't know everything and just be okay with saying, yeah, I'm not really sure what to do here.
And what I mean by capping success, I believe everybody should live their life. So everything that someone says in life, take it with a grain of salt. Take what they give and don't be like, oh, David Goggins said this or whoever said this. No, do not take what I say and do exactly what I say. So for me, what makes me who I am, because my mission is very different than yours or anybody else's, I have to go into a situation knowing, okay, I'm a guy who wants to make people better. For people to get better, I have to continuously get better myself. For me to do that, I can't just say, oh, I have this resume. The resume is there forever. I'm good. I have to cap my success because for me to help people out, I can't just say I did it once.
Does that lower the pressure? Lowers the bar of self-expectation?
Absolutely. I think it lowers the bar of self-expectation, not to a negative point where it's like, oh, I've got low expectations of myself. But if I was to be coming up here to sit down with you and have this talk, and I was thinking, what if he asked me about something I don't know about? What am I going to do? And I'd be a little bit panicked. And then you'd ask me about car racing, Formula One racing, right? Which we were talking about before we started this. And now all of a sudden you said, well, hey, in Formula One, the drivers do this. What do you think of that protocol? And I was like trying to formulate in my head, pretend like I know what I'm talking about, when I don't. So instead I just say, oh yeah, I don't know anything about car racing. So you tell me.
And I'm good. I have to continue to reinvent the wheel of the mind and figure out more and more ways for you to pull. Because if I have a cookie cutter message, it may hit 5 people out of 25. You just failed. My message needs to be in a way where I can hit all 25 people. It needs to be broad enough to where all 25 people may not like the message, but they're getting something from it. And that is evolution. You must continue to evolve. And you don't evolve, for me, in my job, unless I cap myself somewhere and say, okay, you made this much money, get back to work. It's time to get back to work. Stop hearing yourself talk, get off the podcast, don't be on social media too much, cut out all the noise, get back to the mental lab, because that's where the knowledge came from.
And that means the whole drive up here to come and sit down with you and get interviewed by you, instead of me being paranoid that you might ask something that I don't know about, and my confidence is now shaken, instead I'm rolling in here like, oh yeah, if you ask me some stuff I don't know about, I can say, oh yeah, I'm not really 100% sure about that. What do you know? Or what's your opinion?
Mm-hmm. That's liberating.
I think it's very liberating.
Is that sort of humility?
Yes, I think that is humility.
Yep.
And it's something that you get, when you're in the military, you can be in charge of people that have more experience than you. And if that makes you uncomfortable, oftentimes people flex to try and act like they know more than they do, when it's like, oh yeah, you've run these kind of operations before, Chris? Why don't you take lead on this?
So for me, I must cap myself so I can come back with better, more unique knowledge versus all that cookie cutter knowledge that's out there. That's why people buy the books I have, because it's not cookie cutter. It's real knowledge.
The other thing now is, when you first started, you were a Lone Ranger.
Right.
Nobody really knew who you were outside of some obscure endurance places and half-heard truths of these weird myths.
Right.
But now you've got people's expectations layered on top as well. So not only have you got to deal with success potentially making you soft, so you've got to cap that. You've got to say no to more money and opportunities and cool people.
Right.
You've also got this extra layer of expectation.
Okay. I'm the senior guy. I'm the boss. But I say, hey, Chris, you've already run these type of operations. Why don't you take lead on this? No big deal. Does your respect for me go down or does it go up?
Goes up.
Exactly. As opposed to me saying, here's what we're going to do, Chris. And I don't know what I'm talking about. And you can clearly see this because you've done it 25 times. And I'm an idiot. So, yeah, I would say be more humble and you'll be more confident.
I want everything you got. Come on, keep going. So embrace the suck. It really is something that you have to tell yourself, because we don't want to embrace the suck. Not even me.
This is going out the day after the Olympia.
Mm-hmm.
What do you hope happened yesterday?
Well, I certainly hope I won. Definitely. Easiest answer to give. This year is just very important to me to really want to bring my best package. It sounds cheesy to say, but I've been working hard, going through a lot of adversities and challenges over the years, and every year's had something kind of like get in my way and felt like it was holding me back. This year's had a few earlier on in the year, but at this point, I'm feeling pretty good, feeling pretty set. So just want to be able to stride into this one. I want to be able to enjoy it. I want to be able to, get off stage, kiss my wife, hold my baby, know that I became the best in the world and maintained a beautiful relationship through it.
I don't want to embrace the suck, but it comes down to a lot, man. Like, I'm all about trying to be the best leader I can. So through all these things in life, man, to be your best person, you have to find your best self. And to do that, you can't stay in a comfortable world. You have to be not always uncomfortable, but you got to find a spot that's not so comfortable.
Is it something you tell yourself? Like, it's sort of like a meditation type thing. Like when you're running, I know you hate running, but you do it and you do it very well.
Right.
Is it something you tell yourself in your head and it's kind of like a mantra that you keep telling yourself in your head to keep doing it?
Well, it's something I tell myself daily. So I make sure I do at least one thing every day that sucks. It could be for an hour. It could be for 2 hours. Sometimes it's for 10 hours. But every day I do something to strengthen the mind. We're all looking for this great mythical mental toughness. Mental toughness doesn't come from sitting on the couch. It doesn't come from wishing it would come true.
In the meaning we find in life, it's beautiful to do hard things and to accomplish things. But if you were to do it alone, it's just not the same as being able to share it with someone. I think there's a level of, codependence and regulation that can be healthy and can help you push through, be more present, not have to shut off and numb so much. I think a lot of people who are going through hard things, trying to accomplish really big levels of success, numb a lot to get there. And I think being able to have a partner in which you can regulate yourself with and share and communicate and lean on prevents you from having to numb, brings you closer together, which is its own experience, as well as the experience of whatever you're working towards. So it's like double the amount of joy that you get to feel.
Growing in two ways at once.
Exactly, yeah. And who doesn't want a big hug after you accomplish something,
It comes from putting in the work, and you have to start developing your mindset. Mindset is not developed by wishing. Mindset is developed by doing and actually putting into practice. I think that mental health is the most important thing in the world because the mind wants to have control over you. You need to have control over your own mind. So that's all about the mental health. Your mind's going to always guide you in a spot that wants to make you feel comfortable and nice and secure. And it's in those spots that there's no growth. Without friction, there's no growth. So that's what I constantly preach about. You have to get outside that comfort zone to find that every day of your life. Judge yourself against no one but yourself. You're racing against no one but yourself. And when you continuously think that when you compare yourself to other people, you are losing the race. And it's like this race is you against you, man.
Look up, Brock. You're in the end zone. Brock, you are the most influential player on this team. If you walk around defeated, so will they. Don't tell me you can't give me more than what I've been seeing. You just carried a 140-pound man across this whole field on your arms. Brock, I need you. God's gifted you with the ability of leadership. Don't waste it.
Coach?
Can I count on you?
Yes. Coach?
What is it, Jeremy?
I weigh 160.
So don't get caught up in all this bullshit out here of the social media and this is where I'm at and this is what I'm doing and this is how great I am. Leave all that shit behind, man. Worry about yourself, worry about what you're doing, and worry about where you're going and only where you're going to be your best self.
What will you be talking about in your speech, hopefully?
My speech, hopefully? It's a good question. I would say, just talking about this year, I've been thinking a lot about the sacrifices that come with success. Like nothing comes for free. And I've reflected a lot over the years of how much of my mental peace I've had to sacrifice to accomplish what I've accomplished. And it's just been a lot of like waking up at 5 a.m., going through the day, wake up, weigh myself, weigh my food, do my check-ins in the mirror, like go to the gym, work out. What's wrong with everything? It's like, am I good enough? Am I being enough? Am I doing enough to win the Olympia right now? It's all just compared to being Mr. Olympia, to that level of success. And, you know, people talk about what you sacrifice to be great at things. And they're normally like, you don't get to go hang out with your friends. You don't get to go party, go eat, go do these things. But I think for me, the biggest sacrifice has just been my mental peace.
I was nervous at first. I'm gonna keep I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it real. So I'm not a real smart guy. And what I mean by that is I was born with ADD, ADHD. Like my brain cannot retain information. I'm not some genetic freak when it comes to running, when it comes to lifting weights. I am absolutely the bottom of the barrel. And people will never believe me. And they can just, whatever, believe what you want to believe. So when you ask me this question about what does studying look like for me, I have to go over the same page over and over and over and over again. While Jennifer can look at that page, while she's, quizzing me, she'll learn it right then as she doesn't know anything about it. She will quiz herself or quiz me and learn it as she's quizzing me.
So the goal this year has been trying to find that, maintain it, have the mental peace while also thriving at a high level, and seeing how I can do that as efficiently as possible. And I'd like to be able to say I did so successfully. I'm not sure. I still have a level of neuroticism in me, even though I've been succeeding for like 5-6 years now. And it's definitely gotten better. I don't focus on perfection. I focus on just doing the best I can. But even within that, I have that voice in my head that will look at myself every now and then and be like, it's not that I'm a person, but if I'm trying to be Mr. Olympia, like, you're not doing enough. And it creates an impeding anxiety upon myself, like I'm not doing enough. And that's not like an overwhelming thing all the time. It's a drive for me to keep being better and keep pushing more and more, but it's a lot. So I think being able to manage that is one of the most challenging things of maintaining success for an extended period of time. There's two different mindsets when you win something. There's, oh, I won, I did it, I'm done. And then there's, oh, like, I got to do better than this. I won, now I have to maintain this. Not only maintain this, but this is the bare minimum of what's expected of me.
It's the most frustrating thing in the world how my brain works. So what I do is I literally sit there with a pen and paper, and I have my books, and I go through and have to write everything down every single day. I will study the same page until it's photographic memory from writing the same thing down. And then from there, I'll go back through and relearn again. So I'll learn the bulk of it, but then I'll go through and learn the small things within that. So if it's a medication, I'll learn what the medication does. I'll learn how to even say the medication. Because these medications aren't like, like albuterol. No, it's very big words. So I'll go through, learn how to say the name. Then I'll go through, learn what the dose is. Then I'll go through, and this is like every single day. It's not like, oh, I got it. Let's just go through. No, nothing is I got it.
And I got to do better now. So there's the balance of all that. And I think over the last couple of years, I've been able to really be able to fix my perspective on just being grateful for the privilege of it. There's been times where I thought I was going to stop competing because the pressure felt so high. And then when I started to step away from it, I was like, I would really miss this pressure. Like, I have something I love about it. There's something I love about being put back against the corner, like knowing that there's a lot of work I have to do, feeling like I can't accomplish my goal and you're going to have to do it. There's something so like simple and beautiful in the meaning of just doing something that difficult under that level of pressure that you're choosing to do. People say you find meaning in suffering. And I think if you put yourself into like a meaningless suffering, it's kind of just, it's dumb. There's no point. You're just hurting yourself for no reason. But if you can find your meaning in just doing hard things that are as close as possible to suffering, that you're still benefiting from and you still enjoy, I think it's beautiful.
Every single thing. So I can't wait to get in this conversation because everything I do in life, it sucks. Everything I do in life, it sucks. That's why when I was 300 pounds and 24 years old, it wasn't like I had some big epiphany of, let's just go be a Navy SEAL and let's lose some weight. No, I knew my entire life was going to be a struggle, which is why I just ignored it. And I said, I'm not even trying to jump off into the and learn how to read, how to write, how to memorize, how to become something I am not. But through that process, something happened to me. And I realized this is why I feel sorry for no one. In this podcast, they're going to really not like me because people are going to think that I am maybe lying or maybe fibbing.
A friendly reminder that in 3 generations, everyone who knew us will be dead, including the people whose opinions stopped you from doing what you wanted all along. Imagine that someone you know achieves every dream and hits every goal they have. Years later, they get old and die. 2 years after that, how much do you care? About as much as everyone else will if you accomplish your goals and dreams. Do it for you.
I was the lowest form on earth. No talent, no ability to learn, and I literally know what it is to be rock bottom and to build that up. So that question about learning is a pain in my and I don't have to do it. So think about it. I'm 49 years old and I'm a multi-millionaire. I don't have to do anything. So all I thought about when I was growing up is, man, I can't wait till one day it gets to the point where I no longer have to do this stuff. But what happens, I got older, it became a way of living. So how I do every day is how I do every day. It's a discipline, it's a regimen, it was a choice I made.
So I think about death all the time because it's probably the central theme. It's probably the thing that I think the most about. And I think that influences how I see time and also how I think, how it influences agency. Like what actions I'm willing to take despite the judgment of others. And so a lot of times, and it might be because I have more insecurity than everyone, that I think like, man, I want to do this thing. And then I hear all these other voices of reasons why I shouldn't do it or why somebody else will say like, that's bad or you're bad or like, that's wrong, whatever. And so I think I've had to come up with a lot of these devices to get around my own insecurities, to take action despite those insecurities. And the biggest one that I think about is that it doesn't matter whether I achieve all of my goals or I don't achieve all of the goals. In 3 generations, I'll be forgotten. And the only people who were naysaying against me will also be dead. And so then it's like, just do it for me. And then when I wake up every day, there's only one voice I have to listen to.
And the choice I made was, what are you willing to sacrifice and what are you willing to give up to find every bit of who you are as a human being? And I was willing to give everything to do that. So studying is no joke. So when I write it down and I'm actually looking down at this table right now because I'm back to writing. So I'm actually there right now as I'm speaking to you. I write it down in a way that I'm memorizing page 69. So I'm writing it down, so then writing it down and that page sync together in my brain. So I'm looking at the book in my brain right now. So like, that's just how it works for me. And I have to do it over and over again. So that page is stuck in my mind. So I'm literally flipping through pages as I'm taking these tests.
I think that the more you flex whatever that muscle is of like independent thinking, the more it becomes the default way that you think. And then everyone else's actions just start looking more and more insane to you.
What's an example of that you can think of?
I mean, shoot. Just the most basic ones of like living the life that you don't want, not wearing what you want to wear, not dating who you want to date, not living where you want to live. Like you're living at home and you want to move and your parents say no and you don't make the move, or you're dating a girl because she's socially accepted, by your friend group, she's safe, but like there's always some distance in between you, but you're like, I don't want to risk it, right? Or like you're in the job and every day you go there and you're like, I mean, it's okay. And the idea of just living an okay life just sounds so terrifying to me.
And I'm taking these national tests to become a paramedic or become a advanced EMT or whatever. I'm literally, as I'm taking that test, I'm going through and I'm like, and I'm flipping pages in my head of where that page was. And how I do that is just from how I write it and how it's on the page. When I run, I can't recall any of it. I cannot bring any of that because I'm running. How my mind is wired now is that everything I do is what I do. Because the focus it takes for me to, like right now, I'm running. I'm not like a great runner. I'm not like injury free. So like my first 20 minutes of the run, I'm limping. I'm literally limping because I've had several knee surgeries and my body was twisted. And so now it's untwisting. So people look at me, oh, it looks like he's limp, like limping when he runs. I am limping when I run.
The freedom to fail over and over again is still more fulfilling to me. at least it feels like it's real, than walking through kind of on autopilot. And so I think that's a lot of the choices that other people make that seem insane to me now, but didn't seem insane to me a decade ago. You know what I mean? I think it's just like, as you practice taking more agency, taking more responsibility for the decisions, then you just get better and better at it. And then it just seems more and more ridiculous. You're like, I just can't quit my job. And you're like, why? Like, no, physically, why? Like, why can't you quit your job? Like, you know what I mean? They start hyperventilating, and it's like, could you move in with your parents? Could you move in with a friend? Could you split rent? I mean, I could, but I mean, other people who are going to die in 100 years would think what?
My body jacked up, so I'm focusing on how to get the best out of a broken body. So everything I do is a total focus on what I'm doing at that point in my life.
So it seems like you've really trained away or somehow gotten away from the ADD that you mentioned. Because what you described is a deep trench. It's like a V-shaped trench. I'm imagining like there's a ball bearing, and it's like, and it can only go forward in that trench.
Right.
Or back, and it goes forward. It's not like sliding around at the, like concave at the bottom, right, like a tension. So it's like you've trained that up. Is there a similar feeling when you're in the full focus of running versus full focus of studying? Is it kind of feel like, oh yeah, that's the same groove, but different thing? Or is it just completely different world?
It's a completely different world. Like, it's just, both of them for me is suffering, but suffering a whole different way.
And I say this all the time to Layla, like whenever we're getting to some sort of like mini complaint, it's like, you know, if you zoom out far enough, you can't see the earth. So we're talking about like, oh man, they're gonna mess up this order on this vendors, blah, blah, blah. I was like, you know, if you zoom out far enough, you can't see the earth. It's just like, it just puts everything immediately into perspective of how ridiculous some of the things that we're concerned about are.
Sean Puri's got this thing where he says, don't follow what most people do because you don't want the results that most people get. The average person is obese, likely to be divorced, and has less than 1K in the bank. It feels safe to do what everyone else is doing, but it's actually a terrible decision.
It's like the best way to guarantee to not have the life that you want is to do what everyone else is doing. Unless you want what everyone else has, which no one does.
Like when I was going through school, I'll never forget, I think I was in 3rd grade. And back then, you know, ADD, ADHD wasn't like, you know, here's this medicine or here's this thing. They want to put you in a special school. Mm-hmm. So for me, I was so far behind in learning that their big thing was, let's just put him in a special school because he'll never learn. And through that process of like, I don't want to be in a special school. I don't want to be treated any differently. It really, like, I never took medication. I've never taken medication for this. That's why right now you see me looking right in your eyes. What the hell is you've been saying right now? And that's why I don't feel bad for people who have ADHD, who have learning disabilities. And some are impossible because you just can't. But a lot of them you can.
Being able to think for yourself and treating it like a muscle, I think, is a smart way to consider it, because in the beginning it's really, really hard. Totally. You've been resting on societal norms and the way you've dealt with past trauma and your parents' expectations and what all of your friends do and what's accepted and all of this stuff for so long that when it first comes to you needing to step on that muscle, it's like trying to move your ears. Like, all humans have got muscles that can move their ears, but because no one works it as a child, they just atrophy away. And this is the ear muscle of personal growth.
I think I had a lot of practice with it because so like a lot of people have many voices that they hear that they feel are judging them, right? They have their friends, they have their uncle, they have their siblings, they have their cousins, coworkers, whatever. I think I had just one voice that I heard really loudly. And I was talking to one of our employees the other day, and I was trying to put it in perspective, a younger guy. And I was like, imagine how much you care about your mother's opinion and your father's opinion and and all of those other people. I was like, and now imagine that there's literally only one, because I had no siblings. I basically had no mother. I had just a father. And so like his approval was literally everything.
That's one of the vicious double-edged swords of having success. If you have that kind of mentality, which I know all too well, that anytime you reach a new high or achieve some new kind of bar, hooray, we did it. Immediately the next thought after that is, oh fuck, I now need to do it again, but better. That's now the next minimum.
Yeah, and I've had conversations with many people about the possibility of not having that and just being able to enjoy it and relieve the pressure on yourself. And, you know, there's all these studies that come out, talk about motivation and drive, saying that you can get more from coming from like a secure place rather than beating yourself up. And it's like, it depends on what your version of success is. Like, can these people live a life to be more happy and fulfilled? Yes. But will they be Michael Jordan and have 6 championships?
Dude,
probably not, you know?
If there's even a part of you that's thinking, well, I'm going to do this, but I'm going to balance it because I want to feel satisfied. I want to feel comfortable with myself and so on and so forth. That's fine for as long as it contributes to your performance within the domain that you're competing in.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as you sacrifice any output in that, that's just an opening for somebody else that's the competitor that's going to come in and get it.
And he disapproved of the path that I wanted to take in my life. But the craziest thing was that the moment that my father was most proud of me and he approved of my life the most was when I was the saddest. And so that's when I was like, maybe his approval isn't the right way to feel good about life.
Something clicked that I'll never probably be able to do again, when my mind, body, spirit, soul, everything just connected. And my mind knew I wasn't around anymore. It knew I wasn't gonna quit. It knew that guy was dead and buried and gone.
Our desire always outpaces reality's ability to meet it. I chose to just listen to people like you, people like Jim Carrey, who say, I pray that everyone gets rich and famous and has everything they ever want so they can realize it's not the answer. And a lot of people go, okay, great, but let me just do that anyway. And then they get to the hedonic treadmill and then they get to the end of their rope. There is no end, right? The goal is not money, it's not status, it's not even authenticity, which is something I speak on a lot. For me, the goal of authenticity is the byproduct of that. The goal is, in my opinion, to stay tapped into inspiration and deeper levels of inspiration. And there are things that always get in the way. Well, I want more money, or I get an idea and I want to act on that idea. But I just chose to listen to you guys talking about how you get everything you want and then you realize it's not the answer. Why would I then go, yeah, but screw what they said, I'm just going to do it anyway so I can be in the same state of not suffering, but mild discomfort when I realize I didn't get what I truly wanted?
But if you define work, at least the way I do, which is output. So I define work by output. And in order to get output, it's volume times leverage. So how many times you do the thing times how much you get for each time you do it. And so that is the, do you work smart or do you work hard? It's you do both. You do as many reps as you possibly can, and you do it with the most leverage possible. So if I make 100 phone calls, the leverage that I can have there would be how skilled I am. So if I make 100 calls, I might get 10 times more. And so I worked more, I had more output than somebody who has less skill. But the only way you get skilled is by doing more inputs, by working more. And so it's this virtuous cycle of doing more and getting better, and then you get more for what you do.
So when your excuses make you feel a little bit better about the fact that you didn't execute on what you needed to execute on, then they can make you feel better, but they're not helping you. They're not helping you at all.
If everyone was gone from existence, what would I do? What would my work be, right? How would I dress? Who would I date? That's a real one. Who would I date if no one else told me what they thought about it? I think that everyone has a personal brand that is unique and different, but everyone doesn't look that way because they conform to what they think everyone else wants them to look like. And so the fact that they are boring and they resent the fact that they're boring is because they are living out reflections of what they think everyone else wants them to do.
It's so hard to see the good if you're only seeing the bad. Like, there's so many people that struggle with what their version of success is because they're looking at someone else's. There's so many people that struggle with their world of relationship because they're judging theirs based off of someone else's, right? And when you're constantly in the space of not realizing or noticing your world, your reality, because you're living in what appears to be someone else's, well, your shit is never gonna be right. It's never gonna be right.
And I'm telling you from the bottom of my soul, it is so easy to beat people today. They are so soft. They have no work ethic. No one can stick with anything. Everyone's distracted. They're on social media. They're counting their notifications because they can't stick with They can't say no.
When you become someone, my conversation is, do not forget your roots. Do not forget your roots. Don't let this become so big that you lose yourself amongst the noise. Go back to the quietness of what made you successful.
And so that started basically the 6-month journey from when I decided that I wanted to change my life till when I changed it. And I think that as you become more able or more potent or higher agency, that timeline between when you decide you want to do something and when you actually do it just continues to compress. Right? Now if I want to change something, I'm like, let's change it. Done. we walk out of a thing, it's like, we're never going to do that podcast again, or I don't want to talk to this person again, or whatever it is, right? Whereas before it's like, okay, I have to sleep on it. I have to really think about it. And like, how am I going to, it's like, why do I care about how I'm going to say it? This is what it is, done. And it's just like, and that timeline is compressed. But the hardest one for me, like the first one was by far the hardest. And everyone since then, the nice thing is that no matter how difficult your circumstance is, if you have, like the bigger the wall that you have to get through is, as soon as you get past that one big wall, you then can use that wall as the evidence for why you can jump over the next wall, because that will be the biggest one. And so like after I did quit my job and left my house and left Baltimore and didn't tell my dad until I was across the country because I was so afraid, like people think of me as like some big alpha, whatever. I was like, I was so afraid of my father's disapproval that I didn't tell him until I physically left the state.
Do whatever it takes, reach your goals, make your dreams come true in whatever it is in life. And you can always do more.
A lot of people can give up. It's easy to give up. You know,
Hell
it's
yeah.
easy. It's the easiest thing in the world to do. I'm done. I ain't going. Oh, yeah. I ain't gonna keep going. Yeah, I don't feel like going to work. I'm done.
Yeah, man.
It's easy. It's very easy. But what's hard is going, yo, yesterday I got nothing from working as hard as I could. Nothing happened from that. I'm gonna do the same thing again today, but I'm gonna try to go harder. That's the hardest thing in the world. To get up every day and give 100% and be in the same position that you were each day, but mentally know that you're trying and trying and trying. That's a real grind.
Like I'm not like, think about that. Like I wasn't even just one state over, I was like 5 states over. And then I was like, hey, by the way, I'm going to California. And he was like, well, let's come over, we'll talk about it. And I was like, I'm in Ohio.
Already.
Yeah. Yeah.
Already.
And then then obviously he had a different reaction, right? But then after that, it was like, what do I have to do now? It's like, oh, I gotta sell strangers. And I was like, I told my dad I didn't want to do what he wanted. How hard could this be? And so like it then becomes this one huge proof point. So the bigger the dragon is that you have to slay, the more evidence you have that you can slay the next dragon. And I think that is, if there's ever been a good point for why getting over the first hard one is so hard, is that it will then give you the reinforcement that you can do whatever you need to do next.
Yeah, the life you want is on the other side of a few hard conversations, and you're living a life you hate because you're too afraid to have them.
Yeah, it's powerful. And that's what it comes down to, like, what are you willing to sacrifice at the end of the day? You know, people don't understand the level of sacrifice it's going to take. And there's been moments where I realize that there are competitors I'm going against, I'm sure, and people in my league who are doing things that hurt their body more than I'm willing to do. Because I'm not the person anymore. I can't say I'm willing to sacrifice everything to win the Olympia. Like, hell no. I have a family. You know, there's things I care about. Am I willing to sacrifice a lot? My own, like, selfish mental peace and a lot of joy and a lot of things and working really hard? Absolutely. But my health, taking years off my life to not be with my family and stuff, those are the things that kind of like hold me back now. And is that going to make me better or worse? I don't know. But again, you know, I've always focused on building my own definition of what success means to me. You know, it's like we were saying, in competition, there will always be, I'm trying to be the best in the world. That means I need to beat these people. That means I'm good enough or I'm not good enough in comparison to something external of myself.
I think about that a lot. Because like whenever I feel anxious or insecure or angry or sad, I'm like, what conversation do I need to have that I'm not having? And so then, and usually if I just think for not that long, I'm like, this is the conversation I've been putting off. And then, you know, I'm not the poster child of mental health. And so I'll just call myself a pansy for not having the conversation. And then I just have it. And so again, I think it's like, I need to have this conversation, and the time between when I have it versus, or when I know I need to have it, when I actually have it, just continues to compress. And if you've ever had like a breakup or an employee firing, or a quitting if you're an employee, like these things that you dread, I don't know if you notice it, but like the day you do it, the moment after you do it, I'm like, how many other conversations can I have? Like, I want to be like, I'm like, who else do I need to talk to? Yeah, totally. Because
become a serial killer for awkward conversations.
But internally, the values of the truth of what you hold in yourself, of what really success means to you in your entire life, those are the things that you kind of have to balance and weigh out and kind of lean into one or the other. And I compete because I want to win. I love winning. I love being the best in the world. I've sat many times trying to find the balance of what I want within all this. If I was losing, I wouldn't be competing. I'm here to win. And it is what it is. I love what I do, but at this point, it's taken away a lot that I just really love winning more than I dislike the work. So it's fine, I can do it. But my values are still bigger than that. My success at the end of my life is beyond hurting myself now to do so. So it's a constant check-in with myself of making sure I'm lining up my values and I'm not going to sacrifice winning to do so. And I need to be smart enough that when those start to disbalance, I need to pull away from one, focus on the other, and know when to check out.
So the next series of hard conversations that I had after I left home was actually like years later. So I had multiple partners in, I had a partner in one of my gyms. I had a partner in 4 other gyms. I had a partner in a chiro and dental marketing agency, and all of them relied on me to make money. And so all of their livelihoods were still dependent on me, but I was splitting everything, and it was horrible for me at the time. And so I remember when I ended up getting in a DUI, and I talked to a performance coach or whatever, and he was like, your stress and these conversations could literally kill you. He's like, they almost did. So I got in a head-on collision at 60 miles an hour and I walked away, no injuries. But it was like my wake-up call, but not to stop drinking. It was my wake-up call that I needed to have these conversations. And that's what I was avoiding when I was drinking. It wasn't the alcohol. It was what were the things that I'm avoiding, that I'm using alcohol to get away from.
Listen, every day when you get out of bed, life's standing right there to kick you in the face, man. Could be anything. Could be you get up and you walk downstairs, you got a flat tire and you're late for work and you got this and that. Life is going to throw all kinds of crazy shit at you, right? And you have to be ready for it, and you got to deal with it. You can't curl up into a ball. You can't run away from it. You can't hide. You have to take all this shit head on. You have to get up every day. When I get up out of bed, I strap up and I'm getting ready for war.
World's Strongest Man, 2017 or 18, I think. And he's there, he's worked hard toward this final goal. He wins it once and he's crying and he's saying, Nana, this is for you. His grandma that passed away recently, something like that. And he says if he hadn't won that year, he thinks that he would be dead, divorced, with no relationship to his kid. Because the weight he was at and the way he was pushing his body with pharmaceuticals and stuff was ridiculous. He was working so hard and training so much that his relationship with his wife was in the toilet, and he spent no time with his kid. So you think, okay, in order for you to beat Eddie Hall, you have to be prepared to sacrifice all of those things or not have them in the first place. So that's the price that he pays to be him. Do you want to win World's Strongest Man? Because that's the price right there.
To be successful at anything, the truth is you don't have to be special.
You have to be open-minded to the possibilities that I can do this. Once you shut your mind down to the possibility that it can be achieved, there's no way it can happen. So that's why my eyes and my body light up about things, because I know that if you're in a fight, you have to attack.